Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everyone. I hope you're all fantastic, safe and well. Welcome to Three's a Crowd. It's just me and the Ted Meister today. No Stevie Wraith. He is. What is it? What is it? It's Ben. It's not. He's going to hate me for this.
It's not Ben 10.
I was going to say Ben 10, wasn't it? Oh no.
Blake 7. Blake 7.
It is. I was close. Yeah, I was close.
Very good classic sci-fi TV series.
He's an old school TV lover, isn't he? Really, at the end of the day, Steve.
Yeah. That's a very niche show, that one. Yeah,
it is. It's honestly, we were talking in the WhatsApp. It's probably a good week for him to have off the way Newcastle have been this week. My goodness me, the news coming out. It's going to be all about Newcastle. So if you're a Newcastle fan, settle in for this one, as Ted's got some thoughts. We've also got Middlesbrough obviously finishing off their pre-season. Sunderland still yet to play. They play in America later on today, I do believe. So we'll talk to Teddy about that. Sunderland have released their new home kit. We've got pictures of that. No troll of the week, sadly, because that's Steve Wraith's thing and I can't steal it and I'm not good enough for that, I tell you. But we've also got some news coming in from Middlesbrough and Sunderland, of course. But let's kick it off, as always, Teddy boy, because Newcastle have had another week from hell. I mean, the best way to describe it is that Eddie Howe has gone and left after 5 years at the club, mate. He has decided to hang up the boots, saying it's been a privilege of my lifetime to have been the manager of Newcastle United. He's given up, mate. I don't want to say given up, but the Twitter, the social media have been all over this. I mean, they've lost Gordon. They've lost Nali. It looks like Bruno's going to go as well. We'll talk about that very soon as well. But Eddie Howe has departed the club, mate. Your initial thoughts on Eddie Howe leaving?
I think we knew it was coming. I mean, you and I were having a conversation literally about 20 minutes before it was announced, which was bizarre. We were saying that, probably give him till October, then it'd be kind of pushed. But he's I think Eddie Howe's read the room. I think he's done the honourable thing. He's taken Newcastle, as far as he can. He did a great job with them. They won their first trophy for 70 years. A lifetime-changing thing for them. Two decent Champions League runs out of it as well, and essentially, really propelled them into, if not contenders for the Premier League, then at least very, very settled in there. Where it leaves them is a bit odd, though. First of all, I just want to address something in terms of. One thing that I found really distasteful was some of the comments. I know it's not all Newcastle fans. A lot of Newcastle fans quite rightly are gutted that Eddie Howe's gone because, like I said, he's the most successful manager that they've had in years. There's no two ways about it. When we mentioned about Kevin Keegan last show, we talked about Bobby Robson. Eddie Howe has done something that neither of them could, which was win Newcastle a trophy. But some of the abuse he was getting online from a certain contingent of Newcastle fans, mate, it was one of those where I just shut Twitter off and closed the app and kind of went, nah, it's not on. But yeah, listen, it leaves Newcastle in a weird position because obviously there's the rumoured new manager to come in. It sounds like it's kind of set in stone anyway because they own the club. The owners own the same club as he's at the moment. Yeah. So it's kind of like a promoting from within, if you like, from the ownership perspective. There's some people saying he's Mourinho 2.0. Well, let's see. I'm not going to slate him because nobody had heard of Regis Labrise either. So let's just see what happens there. He could be the breath of fresh air that they need. He's going to need some serious backing because, obviously you mentioned the players they've already lost. You mentioned about Bruno potentially going. Yeah. Throw into that Lewis Hall and Joe Linton as well, who Hall rumoured to be off to Man United. Then Joe Linton reportedly asking for a move to Saudi, which you can't blame him. He's coming towards the last few years of his career. Why not get the money? But that leaves them in a position where they've got to have a similar season to what we did last time and buy an absolute shed load of new players and hope that the gel. It's just everyone knew it was coming, but the timing of it for me is just wow. That leaves them in a really precarious position.
I mean, it has been rumoured and spoken about that potentially Eddie Howe sort of floated the idea about 2 weeks ago that he was probably, done. I guess he's run out of, in terms of, kind of that Jurgen Klopp sort of style, it wasn't that he ran out of energy, he's run out of, but I mean, it can't help. And I think you would be naive to think that it wasn't in regards to having to lose Gordon, Tonali, Bruno, who's going to go to Arsenal. He would be fully aware of that. Joe Linton's potentially, even Lewis Hall, all these names that are now rumoured to leave the club. And then Newcastle saying, well, we're not going to go for big stars to replace them. We're going to go for this young, youthful attempt of rebuilding from the ground up sort of thing. And I think that has really maybe pushed Eddie to say, well, I'm not going to be the man to lead that, to do that. And come up with this man, I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name, but Matt, that's all your job, Teddy boy. But obviously he's a young coach out of Saudi Arabia, obviously owned by the Saudis, is Newcastle United.
It's Matthew Vajazzle. That's Matthew Vajazzle.
There you go. Obviously, he'll be the new coach. We do believe, everyone rumoured for him to take over very shortly, signing a 4-year contract. He was from Ali as well. So it's going to be very interesting. He's an unknown. He's not a big name. He's not someone that Newcastle fans, I think, would have thought they would be going to. I think they would have been thinking maybe the likes of a Pep sort of style with the money that they've got and their backing. I really do think that that's what Newcastle's ambitions were going to be, was someone of that caliber. But they've gone for this unproven man who is obviously never stepped foot in the Premier League to replace Eddie. It's going to be a big call. And he's got a big job on his hands because not only, just as we go live here as well, Teddy boy, Fabrizio has literally just tweeted out this about Bruno, saying Newcastle started plans to bring in a new midfielder with obviously the new coach, as Bruno is expected to become an Arsenal player shortly. That literally just went live about 20 minutes ago. So it's going to be incredible to see. And to lose your captain and your coach in the same year. I mean, Middlesbrough fans, we're still on the back of losing Hayden Hackney, mate. Obviously, you had some rumours about Xhaka potentially leaving as well. But I don't know how could you sum it up if you were to lose Xhaka and Regis Labrise in the same window? It's got to be tumultuous, mate.
Yeah, it's a huge job to replace because Bruno's kind of is the linchpin of the team. If he's missing, they don't tend to. I mean, Steve will probably back this up with hard stats as well. Is they don't win as many games with him out of the side. You saw how much they struggled without him when he had that injury during last season. So to lose him full time, I think that's a tough one to fill. I think that's potentially tougher than replacing Eddie Howe. There are good managers out there. To replace captains, mate, in this day and age is really, really difficult because unless you're a Xhaka where you kind of command that dressing room straight away, it takes time to build trust. Not under normal circumstances. Usually it's somebody who's been at the club a little while. I personally think that the replacement, if he does go, I think you've got to look at somebody like Dan Burn. Somebody where the club means an awful lot to him. He's the local lad. And I think you absolutely need to have that love for the club and no questions about disloyalty or anything like that with Dan Burn. He's black and white through and through. I think that's the ideal replacement. But let's see what happened. Romano's been wrong in the past, as we know. So it's not nailed on 100%. But it's going to be a tough one to fill. That's to start your season. What are we? 3 weeks away? 3 weekends away from the start of the Premier League. Yeah. To be replacing a coach and your captain as well, that's a big ask to try and get that sorted. I just want to very quickly say, just a quick drive safe to Will. Remember we had Rooney the dog who was watching the show last week. Will's actually just been to drop his daughter off in Germany and then is driving back to the UK. So it's 834 kilometres to go. Drive safe, mate. Nice to have you along on the show as well.
Thank you so much for tuning in, mate, on that long drive. And do drive carefully. We do love Rooney, though. He's an amazing fan of ours.
Yes,
and one of the better fans. You know why? Because he doesn't tweet at us. You know what I mean? That's what I love. I love the fans that don't tweet.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started.
What a week it's been on Twitter. Holy gosh. Right, we need to move on. Obviously, Newcastle, we're going to come back to you because there's obviously a lot of news happening there. Will Bruno leave? Eddie Howe now at the door. Who will be the captain of Newcastle United? Will they be able to hold on to Joe Linton, the likes of Lewis Hall as well? I mean, that's a massive window losing them. I cannot see lots of people tipping now Newcastle to fall even further down the pecking order, which means that's closer to relegation. But God, you couldn't be thinking like that after being in Europe only 2 seasons ago. It's absolutely incredible. Let's move over to your club, Mr. Ted the Mackham, not Kay the Mackham. It's Ted the Mackham, all right, as rightly pointed out. I've also been to see Spider-Man this week as well, Ted. I know you're not into that sort of thing because I'm a big Spider-Man fan. You're not. But we can talk about that.
You literally called me a nerd. I'll tell you what, I figured out how to do screenshots on here.
I was setting that up. I'm like, I'm going to call him a nerd here, and then I'm going to bring it up like I'm the one that saw it.
It was brilliant. Absolutely
was
brilliant. Me and Jacob. Yeah, I fancy that as well, but I won't go and see it in a Cypriot cinema because obviously everybody in Cyprus is kind of, it's old school Greek, most of them. So they'll be critiquing it and saying, well, that wouldn't be said like that, and kind of, I'll tell you what else I hated as well. I loved the movie Spider-Man, but there was clapping and cheering during it and after the movie.
Oh, no, not at them. No.
Oh, no, man.
Leave that at home, bro.
It was awful.
I'd throw popcorn at
those. Toes were like that. Toes were just like that with cringe.
Yeah.
Nah. Not for me.
Right, well,
anyway, no, the movie's good. Go see it.
I'll have to. I do want to see it. Obviously, I want to see Odyssey as well. It's been a big week for Sunderland. Obviously, you've come and launched your new home kit this season. Obviously, here is the boy Xhaka modelling it with the collar up as well. It's gone for an old school look with the old school badge, and I absolutely love it. And I'm very jealous at what Hummel are doing because Castor, I feel, have let us down in our 150th year. And this one is a node to the old days, mate. What a stellar kit this is. Your initial reactions?
I mean, first of all, to the commercial team, just a massive well done, because that kit launch was, I don't know whether you've seen the video that they used to launch the kit. I'll send you the link later on if you haven't, but it was just incredible. Kevin Ball, the ex-captain, obviously, who's just revered among Sunderland fans, narrating and putting in a stellar acting performance, I've got to say. It was really seriously good. But yeah, so it's not just a nod. I mean, it's almost a like-for-like remake of the 1937 FA Cup final kit, 90-year anniversary of that, our first ever cup win. It features as well the starting 11 on the inside back of the collar. It has the names of the players who played in that 1937 final as well. A couple of real, the likes of Rach Carter, Ron Guthrie, names that are just still revered among Sunderland fans now. And yeah, they've gone for a really classic look. Me personally, best kit we've had since we actually moved to the Stadium of Light. Wow. Hands down for me. I absolutely love it. It's absolutely beautiful. Ordered, and I've taken the plunge. I've done something I have never ever done with any other kit, because it could be just a once in a lifetime thing for me. But I've ordered it with the Europa League badge on the arm as well, because stuff like that just doesn't happen.
Why not?
Mate, when I moved to this country, we were stuck in League One. Finishing 8th in the COVID season. At that point, when you're in your middle age as well, you're starting to think, I'm never going to see European football for my club. Never ever going to see it in my lifetime. So you've got to grab these opportunities. And yeah, I just absolutely love the kit. I think Hummel, like you say, they've just done so well with this. I know the away kit is dividing opinion, to say the least. I personally love it. That's why I went and got it, even though people were asking me, did I have a darts match after the podcast? Cheeky bastards, honestly. Oh, wow. But yeah, listen, I'm more than happy with Hummel's stuff. The training kit looks lovely. That home kit's absolutely just... So, be fair to see what we get as a third kit. If my missus is watching now, get saving, because I'll probably want that as well.
It is obviously an amazing kit launch as well, and I love what they've done with the node to the old school days. And you know what? It just upsets me because Middlesbrough was so... We were so excited when Castor came on. Do you know what I mean? We were so excited when Castor came on that because it was that we knew that they were going to be our kit manufacturer for the 150th season. And that, to me, with a year ahead, you go, this is perfect. Castor, they're English, they'll get it, they'll understand it. And we got this. Do you know what I mean? This is what we ended up with for 150 years. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't mind the gold trim and stuff like that, but with the logo and everything like that, there's nothing. It's just plain red. And I saw it yesterday again at the Riverside, and it's a really bright red. And I'm not sure if it's just because it's been on TV, and I'd love to see it up close. But we're having people complain about the badge as well. The badge in the center of your chest has got some sort of like lint sort of covering on the back that's making rubbing on people's chests and stuff like that. It's been a big letdown for me, and I really do feel like we deserved a little bit more, and not only so much for the kit as well, but for the build up. And that's what I loved about Sunderland we had the video, you had the what it means and the node to the ode to all the old schools, and we had nothing of that. Middlesbrough literally said, "Here's your 4 kits." That's it, and that was it. We didn't have any videos, we didn't have any build up, nothing on the transporter bridge. All of what. The blood, sweat, and tears that went into Middlesbrough for the 150 years, I just felt really let down by ours.
They fumbled a great opportunity because, I mean, if they'd done something, I'm not just saying it because I love our shirt and because it's Sunderland, but if they'd created something like that for Middlesbrough, that's something that people would have bought and happily bought for years to come. The sort of the residual value in being able to create something classic would have been tremendous. But that, for me, mate, do you know what? It stinks back to the days when we had Nike making our kits.
Yeah.
That just looks like any old training top that's had a badge flagged on the front.
Yeah. It's the frustrating thing as
really
well, mate.
Disappointing.
It's one of the, is what do they call it? Where it's a template. Do you know what I mean? Like multiple other clubs from Castore,
that's the word I was looking for.
Have got the exact same kit in just different colours as well. It's not even a unique kit to Middlesbrough for the 150th year. It's literally a template that they use on multiple other clubs, and they've just given us the colours that we wanted. It's incredible, and I think I don't speak for everyone. It's just my opinion. That's what this is, a game of opinions. But I just feel like we've been let down a lot, especially in our 150th year, because we don't know. I sure as hell don't think I'll be around for the 200th year celebration in 50 years' time. So I was really expecting a lot more and hoping for a lot more, and I feel like I've been let down. On to obviously Middlesbrough wrapping up their pre-season yesterday. Obviously, we kick off a little bit early. We kick off this Friday against Wrexham in the Carabao Cup. We played out a 3-3 draw yesterday with RCD Espanyol Barcelona. Oh, do you like my Spanish there? My goodness me. Middlesbrough obviously coming away with a 3-3 draw in what was their last outing for this pre-season. We saw the likes of Berhalter and Lancashire making their debuts. Teddy boy, it was a fantastic affair at the Riverside yesterday because we saw the debut of Sebastian Berhalter, our new American signing. Now, I don't know if you know this, but we've decided that if Trump has this much power with Infantino, something we'll get into a little bit later, then might as well buy all the Americans in the Football League, because then we got Trump on our side. And what better way to go into the championship season than having Donald Trump in your back pocket? Because we're never going to get red carded again. You know what I mean? That's the thing. So we've got 2 Americans down in the midfield. We're going to sign Max Arston as well. That's 3 Americans. I say we get 5. Because then Trump's got nothing. You know what I mean? He can't say no to us. So it's going to be very interesting. But I tell you what, the debut of Sebastian Berhalter yesterday, mate, was incredible. We have a set piece taker. Can't tell you how long I've been crying out for a set piece taker at Middlesbrough. You've obviously got a fair few in your ranks. Enzo Lafie springs to mind, and he scored an absolute stunning goal in the preseason friendly as well, what we'll talk about very soon. But Sebastian Berhalter coming in. But, I mean, what do you think about the likes of Middlesbrough going to this American market, this MLS? Our head of recruitment came out and said that he feels like the MLS is an untapped market. He thinks the MLS is full of up-and-coming superstars for the football game. Obviously, they call it soccer over there. But, I mean, 3 Americans in the door very soon for Middlesbrough. Max Arston rumoured the new left-back to come in the next couple of days. He's the 3rd American. These 3 lads are best friends, by the way. They're all very close mates. On and off the pitch, they have represented the USA at youth, and obviously Sebastian Berhalter played for USA in the World Cup. But this MLS to the EFL sort of standard sort of thing, what are your thoughts on that?
I think it's certainly a league that is improving. The likes of Messi have gone there, and immediately when you get players of that sort of caliber going to your league, then of course it steps up a level, doesn't it? That's the idea of why they were doing it in the first place. So you look at the USA performances in the World Cup, and you've got to say they're a strong athletic side. They've developed a lot, and a lot of their players certainly have started in the MLS, but then, leaving to go either Premier League, Championship. So yeah, listen, it's why not? Why not do it? Because certainly in the Championship level, where you're not playing with the constraints where there's European competition where you've got to have X amount of homegrown. Why not tap into a market that's ready and waiting for it? And I think it's just smart recruitment. And there's not that much difference, for me anyway, between MLS and EFL football now anyway. So yeah, listen, I mean, we've had Americans playing on our side before. Claudio Reyna was one of them, and Josie Altidore as well, although Josie Altidore was signed from a Dutch club. And I think scored the grand total of 1 goal for us as well. So it doesn't always work out. But yeah, no, listen, I think that there are some decent players in amongst there. Americans are absolutely crackers about their sport. And what they do produce are real athletes. So it'll be fair to see what this end product is like, Beholder. But certainly, as far as athletes and stamina and strength and all that kind of thing, that's something you're going to expect from them without a shadow of a doubt. I think it's shrewd business. You know my feelings on some of your players. I still think you've got cracking players. For all Hayden Hatley's gone, mate, I still think you've got a squad that's going to trouble the top 2 this season without a shadow of a doubt.
Let's wrap up, obviously, the pre-seasons as well. Pre-season is done for Middlesbrough. Obviously, as I said, we're going to be taking on Carabao Cup action for our first game of the season against Wrexham this Friday night, Saturday morning at my time. But Sunderland, obviously, still in the US of A. They are wrapping up their pre-season, mate. It's been an interesting pre-season, I think, obviously, given the World Cup. Obviously, at your level as well with the Premier League, the amount of players that you had away for the World Cup, they're slowly being reintroduced now. Obviously, you had a lot of players that didn't travel or got the extra rest as well. How have you summarised Sunderland's pre-season, mate, and how have you seen their performances in America? Obviously, coming up at the likes of Wrexham, who are opponents in Carabao Cup action. You've got Liverpool over there as well. It's been an interesting sort of pre-season, to say the least, for Sunderland to go back to America where the World Cup was, and then they'll be due back on home soil very soon.
Yeah, I mean, performance-wise, they've actually been really good performances. The first half, in particular, against Liverpool was excellent. That Lafay goal that we were talking about, wow, yeah, he's already made it pretty clear. Sorry, I can just hear somebody shouting with a megaphone outside at somebody selling potatoes.
Yes.
Welcome to Cyprus. It's just unbelievable. Yeah. Thanks, mate. Yeah. Listen, Lafay's already said he wants to get on the score sheet more this season. And yeah, if that's any indication, I think he's certainly going to get a couple this season. I like him playing through the centre, as he has done in pre-season. He tends to create a lot more. He gets a chance to get a shot away more often as well. So yeah, listen, first half against Liverpool, very good. They swapped it out. We'll put our kids on for the second half. Obviously, we lost the game 4-2, but it's good to get those youngsters a bit of time. The likes of Treor Gansui's had a really good pre-season so far. And Timo Chutarov as well, the Ukrainian. Wow. This kid's had an absolutely brilliant pre-season. Took his goal so well against Liverpool. Scored a lovely one against York City as well. Have you got the video? Is it?
I don't. We can't play the video due to copyright, but obviously that is where Enzo Lefpe has hit it from. Just as a quick sort of tip.
Absolute streamer.
If you guys get a chance, honestly, go and watch the it's a massive hit.
Totally. So yeah. The game against Leeds United, again, a very good performance. Just got edged out 1-0, and that was a goalkeeping error. Now, this is something that's got a few fans a little bit nervous. We can't afford Robin Roofs to get injured. Yeah. Melker Elborg is a young lad. I'm not gonna sit here and slate him because he's in his early 20s. Keepers don't hit form, their peak, if you like, until around their late 20s now, possibly even early 30s. So yeah, but it is a little bit of a concern. It's widely expected that Anthony Patterson will leave the club this transfer window as well. Interestingly, one of the clubs that were actually that are interested in him is Wrexham. who we play tonight at 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock my time. How much of the potatoes? I was out with Chaz last night, funnily enough. Yeah, it was, for a few scoops. So yeah, listen, the game against Leeds, like I say, great performance. Just getting edged out. That goalkeeping side of things, it's a little bit of a concern. I think it will be addressed. To be honest, I would have probably liked to see Matty Young being given a spot as stand-in keeper for Robin Roofs, but it wasn't meant to be this season. So yeah, listen, apart from that, it's been all good. Wrexham tonight will be a challenge, mate, because they've beaten Man United, they've beaten Leeds already. So, you know, they're proven no mugs. I still can't believe that Phil Parkinson is getting a tune out of them, because honestly, he was the human equivalent of beige when he was at Sunderland. He was just pants. Absolute bloody dinosaur. So it amazes me he's still in the job there, but credit to him, he's doing well, you know. And yeah, listen, I mean, the rumours are that they're keeping an eye on Anthony Patterson. It looks like Arthur Nkunku is on his way out the door as well after he dropped a few clangers. And they also are apparently rumoured to be interested in your former loanee as well, Alan Brown.
Saw that.
Something in the region of 11 million for the two players, which would be great for us. That's 11 million clear profit for us as well, because we've got Brown on a free, and obviously Pato came through the ranks in the academy as well. That is absolute BS. It's BS. It's reluctant Nico. Come on, it's from the Sun newspaper. Honestly, if he told me the date, I would still check it because I wouldn't believe him.
I mean, I can't see Sunderland agreeing to leave only Brian Brobbery as the lone striker at Sunderland. I mean, Isidore had a fantastic World Cup. He had a fantastic season, I thought, coming off the bench. I feel like Sunderland, you know, would hate to lose Isidore. I would be saying at least 30 million for Isidore at the moment. But obviously, that is a rumour that is floating that West Ham are currently interested. Again, it's come from Nico, though, so take it with a grain of salt. But yeah, I would be thinking 20 mil for Isidore is a bit of a steal if that is to be anywhere near the truth.
I kind of see him going, because obviously we've already sold Mayenda. Mayenda went, and to be honest, 20 million is an absolute joke as well, because Mayenda went for 25.
Yeah.
So, you know, Isidore's got to be worth more than that. And I don't think he'd want to actually see... I don't think you want to go back into the Championship either. I see a Newcastle co-host.
We said the same thing. What a week for him to have off, right?
It just says so much more by not being here, you know. One thing I wanted to get in as well, I mean, in the week that Andy Burnham, the new PM, give us number 10 North, Newcastle United give us Spurs North. Just absolutely incredible. Never mind. So yes, pre-season coming around, we still have... I'm going to have to check this out, because I don't know whether Google's having a bit of a blip or whatever. But it looks like, so we've got Wrexham tonight, 5 p.m. UK time kickoff. Next Saturday, according to Google, we have 2 games against Lens.
Yeah.
One at 11 a.m. and then one at 3 p.m. So I don't know whether it's under 21s are playing or something like that. But then the weekend after that, so Saturday the 15th of August is Sunderland versus Rennes. That'll be the final pre-season game. Hopefully, we have a few more signings in by then. I know it's obviously taken a bit of time. They're going for quality over quantity, which you've got to understand that.
How many are you hoping for, number-wise? If you were to put a number on it, we're sitting here in a few weeks' time at the end of August. How many signings are you hoping that Sunderland bring in number-wise?
Not including Mernier, who's already joined the club. I think we need another 5.
Another 5 players, going into the Europa League as well.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I think the deal will go through for this left back from Toulouse now as well. Yeah. Like that's almost done. He's apparently Newcastle backed out of that one when they realised there was a bigger club coming in for him.
Just get him while he's not here. Nothing to defend, Steve. No, I'm sorry.
I'm such a dickhead. I mean,
we're going to wrap back around, obviously, to Newcastle and the news there of Eddie Howe leaving. Bruno coming out this morning. Well, sorry, not Bruno himself, but Fabrizio coming out this morning saying that the Bruno deal is on. But I want to bring you up, bring everyone. I want to get Ted's thoughts on this, because this one was something that just has not sat well with me is Infantino and his running of FIFA at the moment, mate. He's had another shocking week, obviously coming off the back of that World Cup where the red card rescinded with Donald Trump getting involved, and that was an absolute farce. And unfortunately, put a black mark, I felt, on what was a fantastic World Cup.
Oh yeah,
it really ruined it. And then obviously this week coming out and wanting to sell stakes in the World Cup to private investors has increased backlash. We saw the UEFA coming out saying that all clubs or all countries that were participating in the World Cup would not stand for it, would not be part of any World Cup going forward if it was to be sold to private investors. But Teddy boy, what an absolute shocking month or so it's been for Infantino in the running of FIFA, mate.
Well, he's got to go. Look at him. He looks like a Jerry Anderson evil puppet.
So bad, mate.
It looks like a villain from Thunderbirds, doesn't he? Anyway, yeah. I mean, him and the people who have dreamt this idea to start and sell up parts of the World Cup, they need to be gone. They need to be completely bulleted from football, because that's a warning shot of what they are prepared to do to the game. I just don't know how much more of football is sellable. Somebody mentioned before about joking on about the American tour and playing 4 quarters. Monetizing those hydration breaks. They're not hydration breaks, they're commercial breaks. The minute that a famous sports drink was partnered with those hydration breaks, then somebody somewhere is earning money from it, and that's not what it's about. It's nothing to do with the players' safety. It's just the passing it off as caring about player welfare, when really it's just an excuse for another few quid. I mean, I don't know whether you read it, but I wrote a massive big rant about this a couple of days ago. I feel very strongly about it, and I just feel like football's soul is up for sale as long as he's in charge of FIFA. Yeah, because there isn't much more we can sell of football. We've sold sponsorships, we've sold the hydration breaks. They even like sort of monopolized it and took over. So the stadiums in America that already have stadium sponsors, so you've obviously got the Levi's Stadium, etc. They were even like sort of bullying over that and saying, well, you can't use your sponsors for that. Because what? They're not earning money from it. Come on. It's absolutely ridiculous. So they've got to go before there's some real lasting damage done to football, because we've had a lucky escape so far. But they're testing the water, which means they'll go back and they'll wear people down, and eventually they'll get their own way. He's got to go. I think I'm so impressed with UEFA taking the stance that they have, because they haven't been devoid of criticism in the past as well. We know that. But they've made a really strong stance there. And to be honest, just about every federation stood up and kind of went absolutely categorically no. Because seriously, how many more grassroots pitches can you actually build? That was sorry, but there must be more grass there than what's been smoked by the entire Glastonbury Festival since it started. It's absolutely just, it's obscene. There's rabbits away all over here, mate. And I'm glad it's a no, but we've got to take this as, when I say football in general, the whole football family has got to take note of this and absolutely chase that man out of football before he does any more damage. I thought Blatter was crap, but this guy,
it's a
villain.
Fantastic comment here from Big Nine saying Infantino came in to save us from the corruption and of Sepp Blatter. That's gone well. You know what I mean? I mean, that's unfortunately. I wasn't
chicanery. I'll tell you what, I've known you for about 30 years, Big Nige, and I've never ever heard you use a posh word like that. I don't know who you think you are. Come on, I'm sure. Jeez,
I love it. I love it.
I've seen him puke up down a drain. Come on, let's start using your chicanery.
And another comment here from David: you replace him, then another crony comes in. It's FIFA itself. They are like the mafia. I mean, it really is. Unfortunately, it seems to be a systemic thing, doesn't it? Obviously, it doesn't matter who's in charge. They seem to be coming up with ways to change the game. Just leave the game alone, for goodness sake. Just leave the World Cup the way it is. And this whole, I'm not even on board on increasing the amount of teams they want to play in the World Cup. It's just, again, to get more revenue, more money in pockets. And you're going to have the World Cup where it's, we're going to have 6 months long. It's the amount of teams, the worlds that they want to get involved. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I'm over it. I'm over it.
Right, we've had Cape Verde in it now. We've had Curacao for all of all countries as well. How many more countries do we need to have in there? The smaller nations are getting their chance. It's got to stop. That's the Yanks for you. Look at the rugby. Yeah, fair play, Stephen. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. I was a kind of little Rounders player as well.
It's honestly it's shocking, and I'm so over it. And I think Infantino has done nothing but discredit himself even further this week, especially after the back of, unfortunately, what was a horrid black mark on the World Cup with the whole Donald Trump thing. I mean, we've seen Twitter as well. We've seen social media now as well this week of Infantino being questioned. Donald Trump being questioned about, was he informed about from Infantino about selling that privately and stuff like that. And that's the type of disgusting grossness I don't want in football. Is this, did you deal with Infantino? Donald Trump should be nowhere near football. He should be nowhere near FIFA or anything like that. No government official should be.
All women.
I mean, the best we want to see is a tweet maybe saying "Go USA," and that's it. Trump, just leave it. Like, get out of it. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I'm so sick.
Have you noticed we've got an international viewer? Have you just seen that? Have you just
seen? No.
We have Luca De Rossi. Il Sunderland è una grande squadra. Sono andato a vederli le scorse stagioni. Un'esperienza fantastica. Bellissimo, Luca.
Luca, I love Middlesbrough too, and they are fantastic instead of Sunderland as well, mate. That's what he said there. He said Sunderland boo, Middlesbrough up. Well done, Luca.
No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. Mate, you can't even say pizza. Yes.
Don't get me started on Liam Rosenwa, mate. I tell you, we'll start dropping all types of languages out here. Let's just circle back to the top news. Obviously, we haven't got a Steve Wraith with us this week. He is obviously away, and a good weekend to be away, because it's been an absolutely horrid week to be a Newcastle fan. I do feel for Newcastle fans, because to be losing the likes of Bruno, who was already bad enough, but then Eddie Howe has said, it's done, I am out after 5 years. He's decided to hang up and walk out of the club with 3 weeks to go to the season. I cannot believe that. The biggest thing for me here, Teddy boy, was the timing. I mean, if my coach, after 5 years, decided to do it at the end of last season, I give it, because that gives us time as a club to then go on and find someone, to go and go, righto, we've got to get this in. We've got the World Cup at bay. We've got a bit of time here to see how that plays out, and we'll get someone in. But it hasn't happened. Eddie's decided to walk. They decided to stick by him. And then, unfortunately, Eddie's kind of let them down in a way, if that makes any sense, because Newcastle said, with all the, we saw it last, if you go back into previous pods, mate, Steve was adamant that Eddie should probably walk towards the end of last season. That's it. They're done. 5 years, it's over. Let's get a new coach in. And I think everyone would have been unanimously supportive of if that had have happened. But Newcastle didn't. They stuck to their ground. They stuck to their guns and said, we're done. We're going to stick to Eddie. He's the man. He's going to take us in for our 6th year. It is 3 weeks to go. He walks. I mean, I would be absolutely devastated as a Newcastle fan to see that after my club saying that, no, we're going to back him again, even though you unanimously as a fan base want to change, we are sticking by him, but yet he's decided to walk. I mean, have Newcastle fans been let down by Eddie Howe here?
I think that would be harsh on Eddie Howe. That by to all intents and purposes, he was ready to go at the end of last season. I think it was after the Bournemouth game. Somebody said, great point. They decided to stay. They got a replacement. He was convinced to stay on, by all accounts. I'm sure Steve will probably correct us if that's wrong when he gets back next week. But I don't think he's let them down at all. Nah, I think he can leave with his head held high. He's transformed the fortunes of that club, took them away from a relegation that would have seriously damaged them long term as well. Because I honestly, at that stage, I don't think they would have bounced back from that very quickly. The last time they went to the Championship, it was bounced back straight away. I don't think that would have happened this time around. So he's he's turned them into a European side. He's turned them into, what I would class as a top 6 side. Now, I'm not saying big 6, because that's a different thing altogether. And obviously, the likes of Chelsea and Spurs get to make up their own rules. Whereas, Newcastle, to their credit, have actually stuck to them, as of Sunderland as well, but he's got nothing to be ashamed of. He's not let anybody down whatsoever. I know, obviously, you see some of the comments in social media from some of the fans. Yeah, it's frustration because they're used to having a team that's challenging at the right end of the table and playing in Europe. So when that doesn't happen, that's a miss, and you've got to look for somebody to blame. But, I don't think it was helped by the signings of Wissa and Voldemada. I know Voldemada obviously had a good start to his season last season, but after the Sunderland game and after that own goal, I don't think he looked anywhere near the player. I think he just looked shattered of confidence. He looked devoid of any. So, yeah, the signings weren't right. I don't know. I'm not an expert in Newcastle United. I don't know how much input Eddie Howe had on signings. So I couldn't really comment to say, well, it's his fault for them. I would imagine, because of having sporting directors and things like that, that it's not all in Eddie Howe's hands to sign the players, I wouldn't imagine. So, maybe he's been a bit hands tied there, losing players for a good deal of money. Yeah, listen, it was just time to go. No, I don't think there'll be any regrets from him. And I think after the dust settles, I think Newcastle fans will certainly look back at the Eddie Howe era as a really, really positive time for the club.
It's been a very interesting week for Newcastle. Big Nige saying, hello, police. I'd like to report a murder for the Italian lady. Love it. It's been a hell of a week.
Says butcher's English. Yeah.
It's been a hell of a week, mate, because not only on the back of Eddie Howe leaving have we seen some issues there, but we've also seen Bruno Guimaraes come out and say that obviously he's off. It looks like not that he's come out directly and say that. I do take that back. Apologise, but the reports are that he wants this move to Arsenal, mate. Fabrizio tweeting this just 20 minutes ago, saying Newcastle have started the plans to bring in a new midfielder with the new coach involved, as Bruno is expected to become an Arsenal player shortly. This was Fabrizio about an hour ago now, and it does look like they're going to lose their coach and captain. All in one big hit, mate. And on the back of that, with Tonali, Gordon, and we were speaking about this earlier as well, the likes of Joe Linton potentially leaving as well. Lewis Hall's now been rumoured to be moving to Man United as well. It really is a fire sale almost. And I'd be shocked as a Newcastle fan. And the remit as well of, okay, so we've lost Tonali, we've lost Gordon, we're going to lose Bruno potentially as well. What are we reinvesting in? Where is the star player that's going to take us, now to the, because they don't have Europe this year. It's all Premier League and Carabao Cup and FA Cup. That's all that we can focus on as Newcastle United. Now, with the rich investment and the money that's behind this club now, we need a player that's going to take us to that next level. And I think in terms of not only that next level on the pitch, but off the pitch as well, I'm talking about that star factor. Do you know what I mean? Because these are stars of our modern game. Bruno is a star of football, and going to Arsenal to win cups is not something I want to be seeing as a Newcastle fan, because we want to win cups. Do you know what I mean? And I think it's devastating as a Newcastle fan to see this. How do you see their remit now, Teddy Boy, of going for this youth now as well? Because it doesn't look like they're going to be going to sign stars. They're going to be reinvesting this money, this amazing amount of money, into 30 to 40 million youth players from around the different leagues.
I honestly think you've nailed it there. I think the penny's dropped at Newcastle. That it's extremely difficult to break into that cartel, as Steve calls it, and he's right to call it that. Yeah. The likes of Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool. It's extremely difficult to break into that, and unfortunately, everybody else outside of that so-called Big Six. Everyone else outside it is a selling club. Yes, we'll spend money. And Sunderland have done it themselves. I never thought I'd see us going in for £30 million players, but we are now. We're competing in that area, but we'll also be looking to shift them on for about 60. Nobody's immune to it. You look at Brighton, who've steadily improved over time. They're still selling players. They're still selling 35-year-old players as well. But maybe we'll pick that up another time. But yeah, I think the penny's dropped, and they're going to have to go in for these younger, slightly less proven talents and bring them in to develop them into players. I'm not saying, I'm not going to be childish enough to say they're copying off Sunderland's, way of doing business, but the Sunderland way of doing business and the Bournemouth way of doing business and the Brighton way of doing business is the correct way in these times that we're in now. You've got to find these young gems. You've got to rely heavily on having the absolute best scouting network and be able to negotiate and do your business under the radar. And then, the likes of Noah Siddiqui, we went out and spent, 17 million on him or something like that. Had a good World Cup. All of a sudden, there's other teams starting to sniff around him for 30 to 35 million. And unfortunately, that's what you've got to do now.
Yeah.
And Newcastle are not immune to that. And I think you'll see, honestly, it might be the best thing that ever happens to them. You never know. Because they're going to have to hit a hard reset. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And you hit the nail on the head. I mean, looking at Middlesbrough as well, a couple of weeks ago, mate, we were devastated. We lost Dale Fry, one of our own homegrown, lost Hayden Hackney as well. In the space of 2 days, we lost 2 homegrown stars to different clubs, one in Birmingham and obviously Hackney going to Everton. We were devastated, but we've managed to turn that money into Will Lancashire, the likes of Sebastian Berhalter as well. Now, they're not so much youth. Will Lancashire is obviously youth, but we've reinvested, we feel like, wisely into more competitive players that can push us forward. And I think that's what I'm failing to see here on a Newcastle level. Now, I'm an outsider looking in. You might feel differently. David here is obviously saying that he's got the excitement and the hunger back this, for next season already. And I'm glad to see that. But I don't feel like they've been able to replace the likes of Tonali and Gordon going, especially at the moment, with players that are going to get me off my seat. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's players in there, these youth players that are going to do that. But I feel like they're missing that star factor, and everyone's spending big money, seeing Elliot Anderson, Morgan, Rogers going and stuff like this. And I just feel like it's and I don't feel like it's a coach that inspires, because it's unknown again. And at that level, I really did think Newcastle were going to be going for a bigger name. But time will tell, and we'll get Steve's thoughts on it when he returns next week as well, because he's the man to break it down from us, where, obviously supporters of other clubs looking on the outside in, it's easy to point the fingers. But honestly, it's been what we feel has been a pretty tough week for Newcastle fans, given the back as well as of the really sad loss of Kevin Keegan as well, mate. Not to tie that in with football or anything like that, but it's just been such a horrid couple of weeks. Do you know what I mean? And it's just, it's just been sad. I just want to get your thoughts, Teddy boy, as well. We saw the fines come out this week from Chelsea. Chelsea obviously were taken down here with some breaches. They were reported for 74 breaches. This Toffee Tower has summed it up perfectly for me. Everton got 2 breaches. They got 8 points deducted, down from 18. They had for a sporting advantage. They had a 13 million loss, prize money, 38 million loss, sued. Forest had 1 breach, 4 points deducted, sporting advantage. Chelsea, 74 breaches, 0 points deducted, no sporting advantage, a 10 mil EPL fine, and a 10 mil FA fine. Teddy boy, this was an absolute joke to me. And if this is what we are waiting to see with Man City, if Man City, if the 74 breaches done by Chelsea and that's the punishment, and we see 115 breaches for Man City and the punishment is smaller than what we see here for Everton and Forest, mate.
It's obscene. It's absolutely obscene, mate. And I know Jacob's probably watching, my pal, my Spider-Man buddy, who went to the cinema with me. Big Chelsea fan, but I've weighed in on that, because that is just obscene what they're getting away with. There's also a suspended transfer window ban as well. So it's just been said, now if you do it again, we're going to stop you from buying players. So they're just inviting them. So what? They get a second bite of the cherry to actually start doing business properly. Come on. And then you've got the whole, as well as that, which for me, honestly, I find that totally disgusting. Then all of a sudden, the Mudryk ban has now all of a sudden been, waived, and it's 2 years less than everybody thought it was going to be, and he's back playing football again. Sorry, who's in charge of this? Because it just stinks. It absolutely stinks. It's I don't know whether it's been the Xabi Alonso effect and everybody likes him, and all of a sudden everybody wants Chelsea to do all right again. No, I'm sorry. You break the rules, you should be getting punished. You play with feathers, you get your arse tickled, and unfortunately, it's Chelsea not getting the punishment that's befitting of the crime.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? And it doesn't seem to be. And I get that. All I want is this blanket ruling. Do you know what I mean? And even Southampton fans have chooped in and said we've been punished harder than Chelsea were, and potentially they were. They were. Tom Dankert obviously cheated and spied, but they obviously have. That's
not to say that they were over punished because they were punished justly for it. But I agree. I would say it's been stronger.
Yeah, I feel like it was a stronger punishment for them than it was for Chelsea, and that's a Middlesbrough fan saying it. Do you know what I mean? Until I die, and it's just incredible to see. And I feel like the sad thing for me is that there's no blanket rules. I mean, the rules are written. There is rules written for this. And the reason they're written is so that if someone breaks the rules, then we can punish them because they've broken the rules. Now, those punishments should also be written. They should be said that if you do A, Y, and Z, you will get B, C, you know what I mean? And that's how it should flow. But it doesn't seem to be that way. It seems to be a case-for-case basis. And if you've got the best lawyers, the best money to put into the case, you're going to get away with it. And it's just disgusting because it doesn't send the right message to the other clubs. Look at Ipswich, look at Coventry, look at Hull. Everyone is predicting these three clubs that came into the Premier League to go straight back down because they haven't had the spending. They haven't done what Sunderland have done, what Forest have done, and completely rebuilt their squad from the grounds up. Yeah. But these clubs are coming out and saying, well, we can't do that. Otherwise, we will be breaking the rules. You know what I mean?
Look what Toonami's saying in the comments right there. It's absolutely bang on as well. 100% bang on. Chelsea are spending absolutely insane money. Insane amounts of money. And God knows what contracts that they're given to Henderson and Welbeck as well, because they won't be giving that away. But it'll be, even though they're about 806 combined age, they'll be probably on 8-year contracts each. But ridiculous. Yeah, it's insane. And the clubs further down the pecking order, I'm not saying in terms of league position, because obviously we finished above Chelsea last season. But yeah, it's just insane that these clubs are getting away with it. Yeah, the likes of Sunderland, the likes of Newcastle, the likes of your Brightons and Bournemouths are all spending within their means, playing by the rules, and we're just going to get kicked further down the league because Chelsea are getting away with it this season. Exactly. It's bollocks, mate. It's absolute bollocks.
And I think the fans, obviously, his voices are getting louder and louder. And we see it we've spoken about Infantino, we've seen it with Chelsea, mate. It's something's got to give at some point because it cannot keep being, this is what's happened, and the fans are just going to have to accept it because it's not going to work like that.
It's reaching breaking point.
It is. It really is. And I feel like the way that, because people aren't dumb. People love football. We spend good money on everything, going to the games, home and away. We travel around Europe for those in it, and we are sick of it. And I think it's going to break at some point, and I hope it does because it just doesn't seem right. Right, we're almost close to the end of Three's a Crowd. We appreciate you tuning in for Two's a Crowd, the special edition this week. No Steve Wraith, but we've obviously covered Newcastle as best we could. What a crazy week it's been for Newcastle with the likes of Eddie Howe leaving after 5 years. Bruno rumoured to still be wanting this move to Arsenal. We'll wait and see. We've spoken about Middlesbrough's pre-season coming to an end. Max Afston looks like the new name coming through the door. 3 Americans got Teddy's thoughts on the MLS. And we wrapped up Sunderland. Obviously, their trip of America is still ongoing. They play Wrexham in about 7 hours' time from now. We have got the very first competitive match to talk about now, though, Teddy boy. Middlesbrough take on Wrexham in the Carabao Cup next Friday. We're back. It's time for predictions, mate, because we're back. I cannot believe it. Football is back. Middlesbrough will be going Friday night against Wrexham in the Carabao Cup, mate, in what will be the start of our season. We've never really kicked off with the Carabao Cup, but this is how Middlesbrough will go. Obviously, then for the following weekend, we'll be into the EFL Championship, starting a week or two earlier than the Premier League, maybe a week earlier. I'm not too sure how the timings would work out. But
3 weekends. So it's 22nd of August is our first game. Yeah.
So we play on, so we've got a couple of weeks beforehand. So it's absolutely incredible. But Middlesbrough are back in action, mate. The first competitive match, Carabao Cup against Wrexham. You are the expert on Wrexham, obviously being over there with America. I'm actually quite happy that they're still in America because that means they've got to still fly back from America to play against us in the Carabao Cup Friday night, mate. It's going to be very interesting. But I see obviously a strong Middlesbrough outfit getting put out for this one. I think Kim Hellberg's going to want to start the season off strong. We saw the likes of yesterday, Will Lankshear's playing almost 90 minutes. So, Berhalter doing the same thing as well. Max Arston, we would think, is our new left back, the new American. He'll be in the door, we think, in the next couple of days. Still rumours about which goalkeeper we're going to go for. Mark Travers was floated as a loanee coming in as well. I think Middlesbrough definitely need a new goalkeeper, not because Sol Bryn's been bad, but I just want competition. I think the championship at our level, with the amount of games we have to play, we have to expect there's going to be injuries, because you know what it's like. You play Saturday, Tuesday. It is such a long, arduous season, and you've got to go up and down the countryside. We're the most travelled team this season for away games, because there's no other teams up north. They're all in the bloody Premier League now, and we are stuck up there, up northeast, representing it as best we can. We have to have a good squad, and I hope that Middlesbrough can do that. But on to Wrexham, mate. Carabao Cup. I will give you the prediction first. I'm going to go for a 1-0 win to Middlesbrough. I'm not too I'm not sure on it all yet. I'm still working out what our squad's going to look like, and I think if we get a few signings in the door, that might surprise me. But I still think Middlesbrough can get the chocolates over Wrexham.
Yeah, listen, I was so impressed with the signing of Lankshear. We saw him in the FA Cup against Sunderland earlier on the season. Our big night just gone for Middlesbrough 2-1 against Deadpool FC. Yeah, fair enough.
That's my night. That's why I love him.
Yeah, Lankshear is a great signing, mate. Luke O'Nien spoke so highly of him after that FA Cup game, saying like, what a great talent, physical, getting in his face, a little bit of the old school centre forward play about him. I'm excited for you, mate. I honestly think he's going to do really well. I'm going to go for... I think you're going to get a slightly more entertaining game. I'm going to go 3-2 Middlesbrough on this one. I think I can see the defence has been a little bit open after, they're still in pre-season mode a little bit. So, yeah, I think you'll see a nice open game. Middlesbrough coming off the back of a 3-2 win.
Well, we will be back next weekend to go over what has happened in the result for Middlesbrough, and we'll be obviously talking with Stevie Wraith as he returns to the show. We will look at Sunderland's obviously pre-season as they return to home soil to wrap up their pre-season. Newcastle are in for a big couple of weeks as well, Teddy boy. We're going to be getting all the news right here on Three's a Crowd, because they've got a new coach. They're going to have to get some replacements in. We expect Bruno to go now if the reports are to be believed. It's going to be interesting. If you're a Middlesbrough fan, let me know down in the comments what you think the Wrexham score is going to be. Our season is on the verge of starting, and Middlesbrough will be getting underway on Friday night against Wrexham in the Carabao Cup, and then into the championship game against Lincoln. It's going to be all systems go. Once again, we've gotten through the World Cup. I cannot believe it, Teddy boy. This has flown by. I think because of the World Cup, mate. We just haven't had a break this season, I think. And it's just been from one game to the next. But I'm all for it, mate. Middlesbrough are ready and set to go again.
We're in our third series of this show now. That's absolutely crazy.
Gosh, mate.
Yeah, that's
so
absolutely
old.
crackers.
We're so old. Have I known you for 3? I've put up with you for 3 years.
More than 3 years, because we did that
we did the other
radio
one as well,
station
didn't
for a bit as well. Yeah. So
I do appreciate.
I think that's still going, but I think you can only get it if you've got an iPad.
I want to appreciate each and every one of you coming in. Luca coming in as well. I do appreciate you, mate. Even though obviously you clearly don't speak English, mate, you've been a fan coming in with the comments. I do appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for everyone tuning in today, including Newcastle fans putting up with the Middlesbrough and Sunderland fans dissecting their club. Steve will be back next week. Teddy boy, it's a pleasure as always, mate. I love you. Thank you for joining me.
No, you're very, very welcome, mate. Always lovely to spend time with you.
Oh, I love you, mate. Guys, take care of one another. Be kind to one another. We'll be back next week with Three's a Crowd. We'll have Steve Wraith back. If you are going to the game on Friday night as a Middlesbrough fan, please travel safe and enjoy it. We will be live back this time next weekend for more Three's a Crowd.